Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2020 edition of Israel Festival, this year online edition. My name is Alberto Diana. I'm programmer of the festival. And today I introduce you our guest, Susana de Souza Diaz, director of Forlandia Malaise from our international competition. Welcome, Susana.
Hi, I'm very happy to be here with you and to have my film screen at the festival.
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to show the film, even if it's an online version of the festival. And Susana, you are from Lisbon and you are a director and you exhibit your works at many international film festival and art exhibition and films like Natureza Morta, Luz Obscura, no? And Forlandia Malaise is a film about a place, a company town founded by Henry Ford in an Amazon rainforest in 1928, that utopian project that failed just 1 decade after its foundation. And it's a film that observes what still remains in this wounded land. No? And I want to ask you, your previous film went all deep into the history of Portugal during Salazar dictatorship, no? Digging the archives of Portuguese political police. But in this film, you are changing country, you are changing landscape. This is a story of a colonization. I want to ask you, how did you discover Fordlandia and why did you decide to make a film in that place?
Yeah, actually, all my previous film deal with the Portuguese history of the dictatorship, but the main goal it's not just to focus on Portugal, but to think in a broader sense in the authoritarian systems. And actually, Fordlandia Malaise was a film whose origin was in an invitation. I got an invitation from a friend, a collective French artistic group, a French collective, Suspended Spaces, and they are based in France, and they think about, they travel a lot, and they think about, their main goal is to think about suspended spaces. Suspended space was a concept that was forged to them to think about spaces that were built but didn't fulfill their goals. So it's a reflection about modernity and failed projects of the modernity. And they went to Famagusta, they went to Lebanon, and they decided to work about Fordlandia. And they invited several artists, several scholars, and we went all together in this artistic residency. Actually, when I got the invitation, for me it was very interesting because on the one hand, it deals with a neo-colonialist system. So it's connected with the main subjects that I'm dealing with. And on the other hand, war is in Amazonia. And I have to say that my great-great-mother was an indigenous from Amazonia. So
Okay.
for me, it was an opportunity to connect both things. So to go to the place of my ancient family, and also to deal with these questions of authoritarian systems in a different place. So it was very interesting for me. So this was the genesis of the film. But I have to say that I didn't knew that I would make a film because I started to research a lot. And when I arrived there, I was completely open to what the place could give, or what could happen in the place. So this is this was the beginning of the project.
Okay, so in this film, this film blends together different materials. No, you usually work with the archive. No, there are archive imagery, testimonies, but also drone shootings, and there is also a very interesting work on soundscape. No, because there are many voices, tales, narrative, myth, and song. But I want to start maybe from the archive material. No, at the beginning of the film, we see many archive photos or postcards made during the colonization. No? We could see also some pictures of the deforestation process, the new plantations, and the building of the new houses in the front of Rio Tapajos. And there is at the beginning a kind of contemplation of these images, no? But then suddenly something happens, no? A music starts with a kind of tribal drums, and the editing radically change, no? It gives life to such a dance, and to me, this sequence works like a time tunnel, no? Could you please tell us something more about the choice of editing?
Yeah, I can. Because the idea of this first part of the film was, in a certain way, to tell a visual history of Fordlandia, but a visual history of the foundations of Fordlandia, but all the images are in the perspective of the Americans, because this archive have photos and films taken by American photographs that were sent to Fordlandia to record this enterprise. So we have the fires, we have the beginning of the constructions, we have the housing, we have so we have different aspects of this of the beginning of Fordlandia. The question is that those images, in a certain way, are like propaganda images. What we see is cleanless, beauty houses, everything organized, because their idea, this was a project, not only a project that was meant to give rubber to Henry Ford to avoid the monopolies of the British, but also it was a kind of civilization project. So these images project these ideas. So in a certain way, they are propaganda images. So I start to use these images, and the question here is, in my previous films, I'm showing images that usually are not seen. And I, for instance, in Natureza Morta, I had to resort on slow motion so that I could enter inside the image to see something that the regime didn't want us to see. Here is different, because these images are generally, they are accessible in the internet. So if you want to see them, we can search for them and we can have them. So for me, there was no sense in delving inside them, in using the same system that I used, or the same tools that I use in my previous films. So what I decided to do was to use a certain kind of editing. I can call it interstitial editing. That is, through the acceleration, I show what the things that are hidden, namely the workers, the women, nature as potency and not as a resource. So the idea is, through this acceleration, to create a certain kind of idea. At least it was what I was interested in doing, to animate these pictures and to show in the interstices what they wanted to hide. So and I use, it's a kind of revolution of people, of images, and of the nature. And I used a soundtrack that I record also in Amazonia. It's a band, a percussionist band. and it's the band, the kind of sounds that music that they play in the commemorations of the Independence Day. So in a certain way, this reinforces this idea of revolution. And so this was the idea of this first part and the editing I
Thank you.
used.
Well, in the second part, we could experience in your film a different dimension of sound, no? First, we could hear a radio station, then the voices of school pupils over the images of drones flying over the city. So the soundscape, the voices, seems to give back life, while the images only seems to show the void and the desolation. No, I want to ask you, how did you work the soundscape in front of the images?
Yeah, this is an interesting question because it's the idea was to actually I brought with me a drone because for me it was important to see the place from above and to see this inscription. For me, these are kind of scars because they left bad memories and marks in the rainforest. So the idea of the second part is to create a kind of disjunction or to work on this disjunction of a certain kind of memory that is crystallized on the buildings of the Fordist buildings and the life that is there. Because when I start to make the research about Fordlandia, you can find in lots of sites this idea that it is a ghost town, that this is a failed project, the utopian failed project of Henry Ford. So the only thing, the only reason why we talk about Fordlandia nowadays was because of the project Ford, not because of Fordlandia is today, not because of what Fordlandia is today. So during the research, I start to realize that there were people who were living there, that it was not a ghost city. And for me, this was very important in the project, not to focus on the most well-known period of Fordlandia, but on the blind spots, the history before Fordlandia was settled there and after Ford left the place. So the two blind spots that usually nobody talks about. So I start to talk with the people, I start to record some conversations I had with them. I try to find especially women, because this is a history of men. So I had a particular interest also in women to see how they lived the situation and how do they live today with this memory. Of course, that I interview also men and young people as well, young women, young men. And so the voices brings tells the history, talks about the present and the life that is there. And the buildings show what is crystallized, the crystallized history and memory. So I try to work on this junction so that we can think about what is happening today.
So I want to ask you one more question about the narratives. There are some narratives about the place that are really dramatic about the violence of colonization, but there are also some beautiful tales and myths, no? In particular, there is the voice of an old woman who shared the memories of a disappeared Forlandia, but there is also a female voice of a younger woman. She seems to trace an itinerary of resistance, no? And also there are some beautiful tales and myths such as Guanambi, no? The metamorphosis of the butterfly turning into an hummingbird. So I would like to ask you, how did you decide to work with these tales, with these stories? How did you decide to create this kind of perception of the hidden stories, of the tradition, also the myths of Forlandia?
Actually, this is a tale told by a young man who is also the author of the lyrics of the last song that appears in the film. And when I start to speak with the people, I try to do long interviews. So I ask them a lot of things about their life, about the way how they see Fordlandia, and these stories start to appear, and all the legends, all the tales, and what I saw there, and for me it was really amazing, was there in some people, of course, because Fordlandia is a land of migration, so there are very different people there. But what I found was one interest in the people. Some people try to rewrite the history of Fordlandia and try to fight with the imagery that is spread by internet, saying that Fordlandia is a ghost town. So all of them, all of the inhabitants of Fordlandia hate that Fordlandia is called a ghost city, because it is not. People are living there and they are full of life. It's amazing. So, and another problem is that there is no history in Fordlandia. The history starts with Ford, so it starts with the American. So how can these people, and especially the people that have roots in the place, that are the caboclos, it's what they are called. How do they have? How can they find their roots or a common history that does not start with the Americans? So the only way is to resort on the ancient myths, and this was very interesting because they reappropriate the ancient myths of Amazonia, and they rewrite them in order to recount their own history and to try to find their own identity. And I thought this was really amazing. And we don't see a place from the past. We see a place with the future in it. And this for me was absolutely astonishing. And so in the end of the film, I put this music because it's a kind of so in the beginning you have the history as presented through the eyes of the American people, and in the end we have the history as presented by the eyes of some people from Fordlandia. So this is the flux and the path of the film, going from one point to the other one that is opening up to the future. And of course, yeah, I made the film, I have to say, before Bolsonaro was elected. And I finished it after Bolsonaro was elected. And when I saw the film afterwards, I felt a kind of mourning as well from a certain idea of Brazil. So, well, these are difficult times there. But actually in Fordlandia, I returned there in 2019 to continue to film because there are so many things there. It's such a rich place. And I pretended to go, I was supposed to go there in 2020, so this year in August, but I could not because of the pandemic. So I will return next year. Yeah.
Okay. So Susanna, thank you very much for this conversation and congratulations again for your film. And so we'll hope to meet you soon again in person. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.